I just shot him in the ankles. Oh shit. Where the fuck did you come from? Bruh. Dude bit my ankles. That's what sucks about one-shot builds. You lose your headhunter for whatever reason in the middle. You gotta try to stack it up with a bunch of elites on the control points. Open world is whatever. There's a bunch of reds and purples always. So it's not so bad.
Did I just respawn again?
What's going on, Dags? If you're new to the channel, welcome to That Again Gaming. I'm your host, Nox, where my favorite thing to do is respawn, and it's not because I'm good. How's everybody enjoying the new season with all the awesome modifiers, a 30% rate of fire, 30% weapon damage? So pretty much anything that shoots is going to be really good. And with that statement, it's going to lean into my normal statements I make about one-shot builds, and it doesn't matter what you run as long as you can one-shot enemies. There is 1,000 different ways you can run one-shot builds. There is no best way to run it. There's different builds that you can run for different content. And depending on your expertise, if you're using marksman, if you're using rifles, if you're using sidearms, if you want to even use like a shotgun, you can do it. It's all going to come down to this chart. And if you're able to hit those thresholds to one-shot enemies. So put together whatever build you have with whatever equipment, whatever guns, whatever red cores, blue cores, yellow cores, pink cores, purple cores. I don't care what core. Just put it on. Go to the shooting range and shoot the targets in the head, get your chain killer and determinant going. And if you're one-shotting enemies in the shooting range, guess what? You're going to one-shot them in the open world as well. So don't sweat about trying to farm for the best, most OP piece. Just put together a build, and if it works, it works. And don't worry, I'm going to show you a couple of loadouts that I actually personally run and been running. Moving on, one of the key things about running one-shot builds is because you're one-shotting enemies, you could play fairly safe in the back and just pick up enemies as they come to you or as they pop their head out from behind cover. There's accolades associated with headshot kills, so whenever you get a headshot kill, you get bonus headshot XP. And I'll talk about the accolade XP in a little bit and how you could optimize that actually. And some of the do's and don'ts about one-shot farming is you want to farm with factions that don't have a lot of helmets. I personally prefer the Outcast because the only unit that has a helmet is their Changa. And their Changa is very easy to deal with. You can just shoot all the other ads first and finish off on the Changa. The Cleaners and the True Sons are cool to play. They don't have that many helmets either. I would definitely avoid playing against the Rikers and the Hyenas because their units are loaded with helmets. And every time you shoot a helmet, it's going to consume your Headhunter Determined combo. You'll pretty much have to just stack up your Headhunter Determined combo again. And if you're in the middle of like doing a control point or an admission or something or whatever you're playing, it's a lot harder to stack up your Headhunter Determined combo when all the units are flying around, doing their cartwheels, hiding behind cover and stuff like that. And if you're strictly going for XP, you can either play on heroic or challenging. It doesn't really matter. What the key takeaway is, if you're playing on heroic, you run into a lot of issues where you are losing your Headhunter Determined combo and you have to slow down because you have to restack it up. And on heroic, you're gonna have to really stick to the harder hitting guns like marksman rifles or the 1886. You can't get away with the classic M1 Alpha if you have a lot of expertise in it. Versus if you're playing on challenging where the enemy's HP pools are a lot lower and you can get away with running different guns and it's a lot easier to stack up your Headhunter Determined combo. And that's pretty much all you need to know about one-shot builds. Just don't sweat it. Put something together that you like to play that fits your playstyle. Test it out. If it works, it works. You could run an old blue build with a marksman rifle. You could run an old red build with a classic M1 Alpha rifle. You could run the Tinkerer mask. You could run Centurion holster. You can run Sawyer's knee pads. You can run whatever exotic you want. You can even run an old skill build with a marksman rifle. Just test it out. If it works, it works. I'll just leave you with that. Now let's get into some of the builds I like to run. For this loadout, this is my one-shot 2-cheek loadout. And what's cool about this one is that I have the Tinkerer mask, so I'm able to get both Determined and Rifleman, which is going to really boost the amount of damage I do. And with this specific loadout, you want to have really high base damage because I am running Trimmo knee pads, and setting up to get to that one-shot kill potential with Trimmo knee pads is a little bit harder than if you're not running Trimmo knee pads because the Bewilder talent is going to split the damage in half. You're going to do 50% to one enemy and 50% to the other enemy. And the way that interacts with the headhunter is it's only going to count 50% of the damage towards the total amount of damage that the headhunter damage does. And that's why I'm saying you want to have really high damage with this loadout with the Tinkerer, because it requires more damage to stack it up to get to that one-shot potential. Specifically in this loadout, I need to kill 2 enemies to get over 10 million per shot, which isn't bad. And if I wasn't running terminal knee pads, if I was running like Fox's Prayers or something else, it only required to kill 1 enemy, then I'll get into that one-shot kill potential. But if you already know the terminal knee pads, how they work, they're a little bugged, because once you get to a certain threshold, the headhunter talent starts interacting with the knee pads differently. Instead of splitting up the damage 50-50, you end up doing 100%, 100%. So it still splits the damage numbers into 2, but you're doing 100%, 100% instead of 50-50. We're going to be doing, you know, 23, 24 million twice instead of doing like 12 million, 12 million, or 11 million, 11 billion. And I also have the vigilance silence. Like I said, I want to have as much damage as possible. That way I can stack up my headhunter as fast as possible. And then I got the 2 pieces of SP Zoo with the Eagle's Grasp. Then I got enough headshot damage to get me to 150%. That way I can take my headhunter from 800% to the 1250 cap, because I hit the 150 requirement for the headshot damage. Now for the skills, I like the riot foam, just because you can one-shot the enemies with the riot foam. You could shoot them with the riot foam. That way they'll stay in place and you can line up your headshots really quick and easily. Then for your secondary skill, you could do whatever you want. I have the remote pulse, just because I throw this out and I can see where the enemies are exactly, and it kind of speeds up my farming. And then for the modifiers, I'm running Say Cheese just to blind enemies, but you could literally run whatever modifier you want. The active modifiers don't really matter on one-shot builds. They're there, they're nice, but you could get away without even using them. They got Rupert's Tear, I got Stepping Stone, then I got Keep Out. Just run whatever you want, and these don't really matter either. I think the only one that will really help you is Stepping Stone, because you're going to get those hollow points that give you that 20% amp damage. Keep Out, you can proc it. If a rusher gets close to you, you're going to get that 20% movement speed. And then the rest, the third one, you could put whatever you want. Better Up would be a good one too. But yeah, this is one of my favorite ways to farm one-shot builds with my one-shot 2 cheap build. If you want to be a little bit tankier and don't want to run terminal knee pads and you want to get to that one-shot kill potential as fast as possible, you can run something like this. I'll use the classic M1 Alpha, 1886, the Harvest. I got the Memento backpack. I got the 3 pieces of the SPZ, and then I got the Palisade Steelwork chest piece for more armor on kill. This is just an example. You're going to be a lot more tankier with this loadout, because you're going to have 2 blues, and you're going to have another skill, so you could run a shield. It will be pretty solid shield as well. And here you're still going to do more than enough damage to one-shot everything if you're playing solo. If you want to do more damage, you can swap out that Palisades for like a chain killer. And if you want to run just strictly a harvest and be really tanky and have a lot of like survivability, you could do something like this, where you're going to run the Ninja backpack, which is going to give you all 3 of the cores, and it's going to unlock a lot of your brand sets and gear sets, allowing you to run something like this, where I got the 3 pieces of the Hunter's Fury, but because of the backpack, it counts as 4. So I'm going to unblock Apex Predator. I'm going to get that 20% armor on kill to keep me alive, and all the amplified damage and crowd control. And then I got the 3 pieces of the Immense Armaments, which is going to give me that 60% pistol damage. Is going to really ramp up the amount of damage I do with the Harvest. And with this loadout, I'm sitting at 200% headshot damage, which is pretty crazy. And you're able to run like the Bulwark Shield too. You could whip this bad boy out and be really tanky. It's going to be a skill tier 4, and you can run whatever you want for your secondary skill. And for the modifiers, the same thing. It doesn't really matter. You can put whatever active modifier you want. Then when it comes to the open world farming, what I like to do is I'll do Downtown West and West End, and I'll do the public executions, because they give you 520,000 XP. I'll do all of the public executions as I can, and I'll save the bounties for later, because I like to do bounties. But for the most part, when I'm playing with 4 people, we'll do public executions. Because if you're in a 4-man group, each public execution is going to drop the same bounty for every single person in your party. So 1 public execution is going to net you 4 bounties, and you could run all 4 of those bounties on each individual agent. And then doing a bounty on heroic with all directives is going to give you 660,000 XP. Plus you're going to get all of the other crap, all the equipment. You're going to get the faction lockbox key. Named enemies drop named items. They drop exotics more often. If you're looking for the chameleon AR, named enemies from bounties like to drop that right there. If you look at the target loot, if you're doing killing a bunch of named enemies in a target loot, say for the chest piece right here, you're going to get a really good chance to get yourself an exotic chest piece. And another way to get a lot of XP during this event is doing priority objectives, where you're going to look for ones that give you experience on the rewards. I didn't get lucky to get one, but for the most part, you just want to try to line up like open world activities and stuff like that, where they're going to give you XP as the reward. And that's going to get multiplied by 3 as well. So another way you could get free XP from accolades right here. These are the accolades. Tab over to perks, and there's accolades right here. So you get headshot accolades, you get weak shot accolades, you get survivor XP and stuff like that. You'll notice them pop up on the bottom left of your screen. And if you do not beat New York by doing the Liberty mission where you kill Aaron Keener, do not beat that. You could do all of the rest of New York, just do not do the final mission. And it kind of like leaves you in this limbo state that you are leveling up still like a new agent or whatever. They give you all that bonus accolade XP. 1 headshot kill is going to give you 2 headshot kills, and every time you kill an enemy, you're going to get multi-kill XP, even if you take out 1 enemy. And that's how I'm able to get a crap ton of XP always. So here's my XP right now, 38,982. All right, multi-kill 48. 2 headshot kills for 1 headshot, 6,400. Another 16,000 XP for 1 kill. It takes 700,000 XP to level up. Divide that by 16,000. I need 43 kills, so 44 kills, because it's 43.75. Let's talk about how I have my world set up. I started this agent at level 1, and when I leveled them up, I didn't boost anywhere. And I didn't do any of the side missions except for the control point ones. I believe it was the Mass, MLK Memorial Library were the only side missions where you can do without worrying about messing anything up, because they're control points. And what that does is when I do my bounties in my open world, specifically the ones in Downtown West, is that the bounties are always going to go to this spot right here. And you can literally stand right here and spawn the bounties, and they only come out of a door here and a door there. And you could also do the West End bounties, and they're going to go to the Downtown West location, like I'll show you right now real quick. You see it went over here. Do another one from West End. And again, a West End bounty went to Downtown West. And that's because I didn't do any of these side missions. And bounties like to go to side missions. So if there's no side missions to go to them, they usually go somewhere in the street. And luckily for West End, it ends up going to Downtown West right here. And the same thing with Downtown West. I didn't do the 2 side missions here, so they'll pretty much go right here always. And as long as you are not standing inside of the bounty zone when you spawn it for Downtown West or the one in West End, they will literally go right here every single time. If you don't have your world set up like mine, you can still do the Downtown West bounties right here. You just might have to abort them if they don't spawn right here. And then for the West Ends, I like to do my bounties in this spot right here, because you could just run down into the garage over and over again. Alrighty, Dax, let me know which one of the loadouts was your favorite. I definitely like my 1-shot 2-cheek loadout with the thermal knee pads. That thing is a beast. But either way, if you made it this far, make sure to like the video, drop a comment below what you thought, and if you're not yet subscribed, make sure to subscribe. That's all for now, so get out there, happy farming, and get all those shade levels.